Hi and welcome to pmblounge.com. In our last video, the Lounge Fever question, we talked about how WBS Dictionary is the place, it is the home for the details of every single WBS work package or a WBS element. Today, let's talk about WBS Dictionary in detail. As always, a related article to WBS Dictionary will be available on the pmblounge.com website. The first link in the description will take you to that article. Of course, all other articles from scope management knowledge area to other knowledge areas and other PMP concepts is also available. They are also available on the pmplounge.com website. So feel free to go to the website, look out for what you are searching for, and you'll be able to read. If you like to watch videos, then read. Of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out those videos. You can always go to the playlist section and check out the videos of certain topic. With that being said, that being clear, let's get started. So, do you remember the equation that we talked about in one of our previous videos on performance measurement baseline, PMB? So, PMB is schedule baseline, cost baseline, and scope baseline. Meanwhile, scope baseline, while schedule and cost baseline are just the agreed upon schedule and costs, scope baseline comprises of three things: project scope statement, work breakdown structure, and WBS dictionary. Let's talk about WBS dictionary. Everything else we have already covered, and I'll share the link to the entire playlist of scope management in the description below, so you can check that out as well. We have also discussed work breakdown structure. The playlist for work breakdown structure will also be available in the description. Let's continue our discussion on WBS and talk about yet another important concept of WBS, which is WBS dictionary. Now, WBS dictionary is basically where we put the details of each WBS element. This is what we talked about in one of our previous videos as well. This is something that I'm repeating. Let's get into the thick of the things and understand more about WBS dictionary. Now, WBS dictionary is a document. It is a repository. Some companies use Word document itself. Some companies will use an Excel file. Some companies will use the Microsoft project. Some companies may have their own tools to define and design the WBS dictionary. But more or less, WBS dictionary is a document, right? So that has to be clear, right, to understand what WBS dictionary is. So it is a document. It provides detailed information about every element of the WBS. Now, a WBS dictionary entry. Now, you have entries for each of the elements, right? Now, each entry for each WBS element will have details like work package details, description or the statement of work, the acceptance criteria, deliverables, cost, schedule. Now, all of these, right? Deliverables, cost, schedule, all of these details pertain to every single WBS element, right? Every single WBS dictionary entry corresponding to the WBS element will have all these details. Now, if you're working on a large project, right, you will have hundreds if not thousands of WBS elements in your WBS, right? So that means your WBS dictionary is going to have hundreds of entries, and each entry will have all these details. So of course it is an exhaustive document, and it is something that somebody can refer to handily and be able to understand what each element is all about. Now, WBS includes a numbering system, and it is known as code of accounts. We have discussed code of accounts in one of our previous videos. Of course, that video will also be available in the playlist of WBS. The link to it will be available in the description. Now, this numbering system, right? So the numbering system will read something like 1.1, and elements below 1.1 will be called 1.1.1, 1.1.2, right? So this is how the numbering system is used. And this numbering system, right, 1.1.1 is what you are going to find an entry on in the WBS dictionary. That is how you can relate the WBS, here, the work breakdown structure, with the dictionary. Now let's take a look at an example WBS dictionary entry, which will make things much more clear. So this is an entry that I created basically to explain how a WBS dictionary entry looks like. Let's try to understand it. Let's go over it. The first entry here is the work package ID, which is 1.1.2, which is making use of the code of accounts, right? The numbering system that we talked about. What is the work package name? The work package name is the SR document, or the system requirements document. So this is the artifact, a deliverable, right, which needs to be delivered as part of this project. The SR document, this is the work package name. Who is responsible to deliver this? So the system analyst, the tier 1 engineering team, these are the two. Basically, system analyst could be a single person or a group of 2 3 uh, system analysts that are going to work on the SR document. It depends on how big the project is, right? So the system analyst and the tier 1 engineering team, some people also call them the SMEs, some people may just call them engineers, right? So whoever it is, right, to every organization might not have a tier 1 engineering team. They might not even know what tier 1 engineering team is, right? I mean, as an organization, they might not have a concept of tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3, right? So basically, whoever is responsible to write the system requirements document, they will be listed here. Now, some of the work packages, like let's say a work package is, let's say, related to testing, then an entire organization, an entire department might be responsible for it, right? Or let's say if the testing is something which is outsourced. Excuse my handwriting here, though. So if the testing is outsourced to some other organization, then that organization's name will be listed here as the responsible organization for testing, right? I hope that's clear. Now let's move on. Work package description, or the statement of work. So what is the description of the our element here, which is system requirement document? So system requirements document will detail the project requirements from technical perspective. So you have the very high level scope document. You may have a very high level business requirements document. When it comes to the system requirements document, it contains technical details. It can get very chunky. Now, what is the acceptance criteria for this work package? The acceptance criteria is that it needs to be signed off from key stakeholders and responsible departments. So departments which are responsible to deliver the piece of code, departments which are responsible to test that piece of code, right? Departments that are responsible to design the entire whatever the requirements are. So those departments, they need to sign off on the system requirements document, right? So they become accountable. So whatever the acceptance criteria is, you can kind of list that down. Deliverables, the SR doc, the system requirements document itself, is the deliverable out of this WBS entry, right? WBS dictionary entry. Duration is 4 weeks, so you have 4 weeks of time to prepare the SR document and get it approved. The cost is 2 FTP, let's say 2 full-time persons. Some organizations like to, have dollar values in the cost. Some organization might want to just have how many full-time persons or full-time employees will be required to accomplish a certain task or a certain activity or complete a certain work package, right? In this case, the SR document. Next is due date. Due date is 6/29. Dependencies. What are the dependencies? And you need a business requirements document to be available to even start your system requirements document, right? So in one of our previous videos, we talked about where do we so let's say if business requirements document is one of the work packages in this WBS, right? Then how and the other work package is a system requirements document. When you creating that WBS, you will know that there is a dependency between the BR document and the SR document. But where do you list that dependency, right? So you list that in the WBS dictionary. So this is where we have listed that dependency, that the SR document is dependent on the availability of business requirements document, right? In fact, to be more detailed oriented, you can say an approved or a signed off or a baseline business requirements document is required to be able to start the work on system requirements document or DSR document. Who are the approvers? So the project sponsor, right? The project sponsor, the BA, which is the business analyst, the project manager, engineering lead, test lead. These are all the folks that need to approve the system requirements document or this work package. So they are the approvers of this work package. Now, you might be wondering what is the difference between approvers and acceptance criteria, right? Since both of these talk about they're basically the same thing, right? We are basically taking sign off. Now the thing is, if you consider the SR document as a work package, then probably the acceptance criteria and approvers could be same. But if let's say your work package that you're working on is testing, right? So then the acceptance criteria could be 95% testing to be complete and passed, right? That could be the acceptance criteria, while the approvers could again be the project manager, the test lead, and people who are the key stakeholders. So that's the difference between acceptance criteria and approvers. Hope that's clear as well. So I hope with the help of this example, you're able to understand what a WBS dictionary is and how helpful it is when it comes to project management and when it comes to work breakdown structures in general. So that's all that we had in this video. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Check us out on our social media, facebook.com/pmplounge and twitter.com/pmplounge. If you have any queries related to project management industry or the PMP certification or any other project management certification for that matter, feel free to drop them at pmplounge@gmail.com, and do check out the website pmplounge.com, your number one free resource for PMP certification and project management industry information. Thank you.